seeking a dollar. For many of us who broken, who don't have a cent or dime. Poverty ain't no damn excuse for crime. No way, poverty is no excuse. So when is your time to choose? Instead of shooting and looting, my bat and my lock still recruiting. Tell them youth and chant it before our next church bell chime. Poverty and no damn excuse for crime. So hear me now. If you're starving to death with nothing to eat, that is no excuse. When them vendors get chased off the street, that is no excuse. Unemployment land, you can't get a job, that is no excuse. Boy, if you're struggling inside in no money club, that is no excuse. Broke and to thief, you ain't have a cent, that is no excuse. Can't mind your picnic, can't pay your rent, that is no excuse. If life living you a really hard time, that is no excuse. Poverty is still no excuse for crime. Take a look at me, so proud free. Grew up in abject poverty because of drive and ambition. Today that same old proud billion.
Street919fm.com, the official station that defends the nation.
Are you just tired of bad news in your communities, TV screens, and newspapers? Well, I have good news for you. Introducing Positive Corner with Naka every Tuesday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Highlighting young, vibrant, and future stars spreading our nation's banner across the world. Telling their story about their journey to success and overcoming the negativities that plagues our land. Come, let's sit, discuss, have a few laughs, but at the same time learn something new. Every Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Positive Corner, where challenges are opportunities for growth.
Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, happy Positive Tuesday. Welcome back to, Positive Corner, to the 919 family and the Trinidad by extension. Today we are having a very, we're going to educate you all. I'm going to be educated because I need some education on this, on this particular topic. And I felt the need for us to do this topic because we need it right now, especially in the workplaces. We needed to carry with this within us wherever we go in our daily lives and even in our homes. This is something that I want everybody to really take heed, listen, and educate yourself today. Because today we are going to talk about conflict resolution. And we need to be educated about conflict resolution, especially in these times. We need to learn how, we need to have some sort of, the know-how and mediation amongst each other. So today I have a guest with me who can give us some further knowledge on conflict resolution. And I would let her introduce herself. Good afternoon. Introduce yourself. Let Trinidad and Tobago know who you are.
Good afternoon, Shanaka. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Diane Lewis. I am a graduate of the University of the West Indies. I would have graduated with my postgraduate diploma in mediation studies back in 2018. So,
well, you're seasoned.
Yes.
You're seasoned in it, girl. You ain't no now come. You're seasoned. So you have experience in terms of mediation.
Well, not in the formal sense. I don't hold a mediator's post, but I do practice in an informal way in the workplace, as well as I would have been called upon to speak about it, to train others about it. So I know I have a good understanding on the topic.
Okay.
Yes.
So, a lot of, we hear conflict resolution, and a lot of people don't know the definition of conflict resolution. So give us a short definition. What is conflict resolution?
Simply put, you would come across disagreements in every walk of life.
Yes.
and you must know how to manage it, how to handle it.
Right.
And simply put, conflict resolution is knowing how to handle disagreements.
Yes.
It could be in the workplace, it could be in your home, it could be on the street while you're driving.
Yes.
You know, we have a lot of road rage, right? Because you encounter a lot of things
Yes.
on the road. So it's basically knowing how to manage disagreements. Yeah.
Beautiful. You know, they have conflict resolution in the workplace and conflict resolution at home, mediation for home. And do you use the same strategies for both? Or is there a different type of mediation for the home as opposed to the workplace?
Well, I mean, some of these strategies can be employed both places, both at home and at work. However, you will have to look at the situation and decipher what is appropriate at that given time, because there are different types of conflict. And at home, you may have conflict between parents, husband and wife,
Yes.
or you may have adolescents and a parent. You wouldn't handle that conflict the same way you would handle two grown adults at work.
Right.
So it's basically looking at each situation individually and assessing it to see what is the best method of handling that conflict. For instance, at work, I believe that there's a place for conflict resolution in every workplace. You should have a formal mediator, maybe not with that title, but somebody who holds that position, who, when things arise, you go to them.
Right.
Because you need that third-party intervention at all times, because sometimes personalities clash.
Yes.
And persons are brought up differently. Persons have different morals, different values. People will clash no matter
Yes.
what.
Sure.
So the methods that you would employ among persons who have different values will not be the same methods you would employ in a home, because in a home you're more or less growing up in the same culture, in the same social setting, and probably the same religion as well. So your morals and values, the things that you hold dear to you, will more or less be the same in that setting. So I think it's just about what type of conflict it is.
Yes.
And then you could determine how to deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just say, you know, you said in workplaces supposed to have mediators, but let's just say, you know, in a workplace they don't have a mediator. What can they resort to in terms of what ways they could go about in terms of, you know, dealing with conflict within the workplace?
So they may not call it a mediator, but there's always somebody in the workplace who you can go to as a third party to the conflict. It might just be another colleague
Right.
on the floor with you, who is not biased to any one of the parties involved in the conflict. And that person is a mediator in that setting. They may not hold the position of a mediator formally, but in that setting they would be the mediator. So what we should practice is, most times we should have someone to go to who would help us to bring our conflict to a resolve by being fair,
Yes.
unbiased, listening to the two sides, and not necessarily making a decision for them, but allowing them to come to a resolution for themselves. Let them hear each other out.
Right.
Because when you are arguing with somebody, most times you're not listening to them.
True.
You are only arguing to get your point across. When you have a third party involved, that person helps the situation by allowing the two parties to listen to the other side. And then that brings understanding. When you understand why the other party is doing what they are doing, then you might say, okay, I get you now. But when you are just arguing to get your point across, hardly ever is there any result. Nobody's listening.
Nobody listening.
Nobody's listening. So a third party doesn't have to, a mediator doesn't have to be somebody in a formal setting, but just that third party who can come in and bring an unbiased approach to whatever the conflict is, and help the two parties resolve their own conflict for themselves, not
Right.
necessarily give them a resolution.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so we say, okay, have a third party, but let's say you don't have a third party,
Okay.
and it's just you and this person. So, you know, sometimes you will argue, and I trying to get my point across, you trying to get a point across, but at some point, somebody within the conflict, somebody might have a mature mind and say, here what? Let me see how best we could. So if it's between two parties, how they can go about it?
So I would say you have to employ what is called emotional intelligence. Somebody has to stand back and say, okay, let me try to understand why this person is saying what they're saying, why they're behaving the way they're behaving, and see if I can lend an open ear instead of just, that employing that emotional intelligence is what will help resolve the situation. Sometimes you may not be able to resolve it right away.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you have to do is walk away for the time being, because people may be heated. You may not get the other person to listen to you at all, no matter what you say. So sometimes you need to leave it alone for a while. When it has boiled down, maybe later that day, maybe a next day, maybe the next week, you bring it up and you say, hey, I would like to speak to you on this situation that occurred between the two of us, and you employ emotional intelligence to understand why this person is behaving the way they are. Now, different personalities have different ways of treating with conflicts, and there's something called the Killman model, where you have 5 different ways that people generally use to treat with conflicts. One is avoidance. Most people, which like myself, a lot of people like myself, avoid conflict by continuously walking away. From the time somebody starts to argue, you walk away. From the time somebody raises a issue, you walk away. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it makes the problem worse. Because you end up leaving the problem to fester, not dealing with it, and then somewhere down the road, it blows up, and it just gets out of proportion, and then you have something worse to deal with. There's another strategy called competing, where there's always this one person who just wants to be right all the time. No matter how you try to resolve things with them, sometimes you just have to leave them. Let them feel they're right? And then you have collaboration, where the two parties can agree, listen, I understand your point of view, but I still believe what I believe. And you agree to collaborate and say, okay, this is how we're going to deal with this. There's also the 2 more ways of dealing with it. I wouldn't go into all one time because I know you're pressed for time, but there are at least 5 different ways that people employ to deal with conflict. And it just shows that human beings naturally have that, we are born with it, I should say biologically, that we naturally have that knack for dealing with resolving conflict. We want to resolve it, but how we resolve it sometimes could either, go in a very productive way or in a destructive way.
Right.
So I think in understanding ourselves and who we are and how we deal with conflict could help us in terms of when we're dealing with other people. And again, emotional intelligence comes in there. Understanding yourself and understanding others.
And that's the thing, a lot of us, lack emotional intelligence. And you said something earlier where you said, when you walk away, sometimes avoiding it and you leave it there to fester, it could get worse. But sometimes if you walk away, sometimes it antagonizes the other person.
That as well.
So, it avoiding situations, it has its pros and cons to it. So, you will walk away to avoid, and that person see you walk away and also you walking away on me.
Yeah.
Right, and they get agitated with it. Yeah. So, sometimes we just have to use the avoidance. It's ticklish.
Yes, agreed.
It's a very ticklish thing. Avoidance could it could mean well.
Yes. Or
it could have a real
bad some people
effect.
Don't like conflict. Some people don't like the face off.
Yeah.
And they would they choose to walk away. In a case where you want to walk away and it's a heated argument, I would suggest calmly telling the person, listen, I understand you're very upset right now. I don't think we are being productive in this conversation. We could come back to this conversation at a later date when you're a little cooler, maybe later in the afternoon when you have, simmered a little bit, and we could continue the conversation. But while you're behaving erratic, we cannot solve anything, and I cannot continue this conversation with you. If they want to still be upset, you can't do anything about that. But staying in it would not help either.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to be respectful because some people might say they're avoiding, but they're walking off and they're giving body language and they're doing different things to antagonize the person.
Yes.
Yes, you'll get the person more upset.
Yes.
So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So you could walk away calmly telling the person, listen, I want to resolve this.
Yes.
But we can't resolve it right now. Let us make a rain check, take a rain check on this, and come back at a later date. So you can't avoid peacefully. You know, just let the person know this is what I intend to do. Don't just walk away.
Yes.
You know, let them know this is what your intention is.
Well, we have calls coming in between, so I'll be taking the calls. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
What does emotional intelligence entail? That's one. And two, most people, even if you tell them you're walking away from this, they see it as a disrespect and just increases. It doesn't diminish the situation, but it makes it even worse by trying to walk away. I've seen so many people walk away and get stabbed or killed.
Yes.
Because of walking away. How do you resolve that? Have a nice day.
I was hoping he would have been able to share with us what his thoughts were. He left before we
Yeah, he just bust out.
Well, I mean, as I said before, let your intentions be known.
Yes.
People walk away from heated situations, but it's the way they walk away.
Yes.
And it antagonizes the other person. As I said, be clear. Listen, I do want to resolve this. I want us to come back and talk about this when you're a little less heated.
Yes.
You know, and at that time might be good to get a mediator involved,
Yeah.
a third party, because you realize you can't do it on your own. So hopefully there's somebody else around. If it's the workplace, you know, there's somebody else around who you could say, hey, come, listen to this.
Yes.
And that person could now bring a fresh perspective to the
neutral,
situation. And probably calm the person down.
Yes.
But I would not suggest walking off on somebody who is
abruptly.
heated. Yeah, that could really irritate somebody even more and make the situation worse. So you don't just walk off and say, well,
yeah. You know. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, I'm trying to again. So I tuned in late, I don't know her name.
Miss Diane Lewis.
Okay, Miss Lewis, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you know, okay, yes, walk away could really anger the other party. And but you know, you use some words just now. You cannot accuse them, you know. You sometimes have to say we put the two persons together, or say I need to sort out this. Sometimes they don't even want that.
Yeah.
But you know, but you can't say them. You cannot accuse them, because sometimes when you accuse them, you get them more angry. So it's me, you know.
You know, some people, some people, and some people like that.
Right. So you know, whether it's a friend, a family, or anybody, because they don't see themselves as the person who is causing the conflict. You know, and you say, listen. Right now, I cannot solve this between you and I, but I know, you know, you use nice words. I don't know what the thing is, so I don't want to use other words. Let's talk about this later now. If they're still heated, say, okay, well, you go ahead and just listen. Sometimes listening kind of helps cool the situation. In some cases, it's solved and it's thing, but let them talk. Sometimes when you bring in a third person, they don't like that either, huh? So we have to be very careful. I'm just using my point of view.
Yes,
you know?
yes, no problem.
Yeah, because they don't like other people intervention.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Okay, take care.
All right, thank you. No, but let me tell you this. I could be that type. I could be that type of person. If I know you're talking utter nonsense in my head, I will listen. But if I listen too long, I might get agitated.
So true.
So you know what that is how to do? Breathe and come to 10 and say, here what, like, next time. Because I can't sit down and listen to hear you talk knowing that you are wrong.
But I mean, the caller raised an important point too, because it's not only about being right and wrong.
Yes.
It's about just letting the person vent.
Yeah.
If they're so upset that they need to talk and rant,
Let them,
you
yeah.
shut up and you let them rant.
go, yeah.
Whether you think they're right or wrong. They might be very well wrong. But you let them rant and you say nothing to irritate them further.
Yeah.
And I think mediation too encourages that, because a mediator now steps in and lets the person tell their side of the story. So you are able to hush and listen to the other person, even if they're venting, even if they're using obscenities, even if whatever, they just need to get it off their chest. You know, so that's part of the mediation process as well. So sometimes you just have to vent. Venting is an important part to resolving conflict.
Yes.
It is.
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, yes, it's me again.
Yes.
All right, well, listen, what I was trying to say is that what I asked for the definition and what it entails is because, you know, a lot of people mistake emotional intelligence for being emotional. And emotional intelligence means that you are mature enough to control your emotions, to understand the repercussions of your emotions on steroids, just to make it a little light. And a lot of the problems that we do not think when we become emotional, and as such we just act. And while you might be all speaking about these things, it might be a nice in a setting in a workplace, but there are two places where it's very difficult for that. A, in a home setting, and B, in the streets. Because you very well know that even in a relationship, that is a very difficult scenario to navigate, because you tell the person, listen, let's get a mediator, and it seems to make it worse on both sexes. I don't know if it is because I don't want to make it any complicated, but both sexes, for lack of a better term, right? You find that there is a problem when you try to get a mediator in between, especially when the person knows that they're wrong when they argue it. You see, they don't want somebody to get in between there, because then it will expose them for being wrong, right? And with a street setting, you have it immediately. You need some sort of manner of solving this. Recently, we saw where two friends chopped up each other, right? Because, and even the friends who was in between could control that, to say, hey, cool that. And sometimes it's as I said, it's nice in textbook, but the reality is that in some instances, without authorities there, not even mediator normal, but without authorities there to quell this in an immediate sense, it is rather difficult, especially in the streets, when there's somebody opposing you, and their end is to prove something to themselves, to show their manhood, so to speak. That's not going to end up very easily to resolve. We have seen it on and on again. So, you know, we need to take into consideration those things.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Naka. How are you going?
I'm okay.
Yeah, this is Trudy Diamond speaking here, you know.
Okay, hi.
Voice. I'm Miss Lewis, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Right. I want you all to hear me carefully. Just yesterday, something occurred, right? Now, as a hyper person, I hype, but not to really lash nobody about. I just talk my mind, and people just get harassed with that, right? I'm a Gemini born. I'm a June born. I tell you the straight. How he is now. He's the mouth. Anyway, yesterday, my ex-girlfriend of mine called me, right? And we was in that conversation, and then some kind of thing happened. Then she know, well, here we're going to write about now. I can't really listen to it because it causing a kind of, you know, scene now, boy. And she telling me about, oh, listen to me. I talking to you. I say, we're going to, when I cool on myself and thing, So I took out the phone, eh? You know, that girl sent me a nasty voice note. Listen what I'm saying, right? A nasty voice note. I ain't saying, tell her what she tell me, right? On top of that, she call the phone. I ain't answering the phone. She sent a next dirty voice note because I put on the phone and let she know, well, sister, here we going on, eh? Under the scene, I can't dialogue on it because and I call this thing going on. This morning, all right, listen, this morning.
We don't have much time, Trudy Diamond. Hello? Okay, well, we lost you. Trudy Diamond, we lost you there. Hello, good afternoon.
Pleasant day to you. Where I used to work, this white man keep calling me monkey man, monkey man, monkey man.
Hello?
I sharp my knife like a razor, and I waiting train. And you know, he still make the mistake and come at me again. And you know what happened? There's an ex-black man had to hold me and throw water on me and all kind of things to cool me down. I know what's the end of that? I lost my profession. Yes, because nobody would hire me after that.
Wow.
As I say, I work for place. All right, yes, they gave me everything going good. This guy hire you, you know. He will call you. He will call you. I was a cook by profession. All the cruise ship opportunities passed me like a full bus. Nobody would hire me. Because
Caller, may I ask a question?
Caller, she wants to ask a question.
Hi, caller. Good day. When you were experiencing the issue of the name calling, did you ever report it to any of the managers or the...
I reported to the personnel department, the security, even the police station. I make 5 reports by the security, even the union and all. I know the union tell me, the man making joke again. The personnel department tell me the same thing. But nobody can make a joke with you. But I see now, I'm feeling real sad. He could take a few, and the next man on the highway, he could take a few against Kokoro, and call him in birth, in death. He could take a few, so what happened to me? I had to let it take out of my whole profession. Yeah, because that I would never say I worked that place, you know that?
Yes.
I was actually trying up doing mason. Yes, just to try to get away from, like from Laguanti, and you know, anybody come from Laguanti is criminals. Yeah.
All right, caller. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Ms. Lewis, do you have anything, you heard these calls, do you have anything that you would like to add before we wrap up?
Well, first of all, I sympathize with the last caller because, you know, workplaces really need to put policies in place for protecting their employees from each other. Nobody has the right to name call, whether it's a joke or not. If you take something seriously and you report it, they should take it seriously and put a stop to it. So that nobody gets to the point where they're so agitated that they respond in a violent way. So workplaces do have that responsibility to protect their workers, put a policy in place to protect their workers. So that's one thing that I noted from what was said.
Very nice. Trudy Diamond, I'm really sorry that the call get cut off, but I hope next week Tuesday that you'll be able to call back in. You know, we don't have much time. Time is against us. But you can go on the community development, sports and community development page. There's a mediation, there you can go to the mediation unit. And there are different mediation centers, and there are mediation centers in Port of Spain, Point Fortin, Penal de Bay, Tunapuna, San Juan, Couva, and Central. These are the places that you can go to the community development page on the site, on the ministry site, or you can call the number, the community development number, and ask them which part the center is in your area, in your district, where you can access, which is accessible to you. Please utilize it. We really need a lot of mediation in our country at this point in time, because I know, like, we had shaking in here. We had to be shaken, but we need a lot of mediation. If we cannot deal with conflicts amongst each other, it's better we bring somebody from the outskirts who can give us neutral advice on how to deal with it. Walk away, tell them that they need to calm down, you need to calm down, we both need to calm down to deal with the issue at hand. Y'all, I will see you next week, Tuesday. We have more Positive Corner. Thank you so much, Diane Lewis. This is my darling friend, eh?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Guys, the Positive Corner is next week, Tuesday. We have more in store. To put on my spectacles to see how much more time. Right. We have more for you all in store next week. Thank you for all the callers that call in and give their stories and give their input and give their advice. This is what Positive Corner is about. It's not only me behind the mic, but you as my co-host can call in and give me advice as well, because I learned something new today. I'm sure you guys have learned something new, and I hope you'll take this knowledge into action. See you guys next week. Love you. Be safe. The weather out there isn't easy. So, but be safe on the roads and have a blessed Tuesday.
Are you just tired of bad news in your communities, TV screens, and newspapers? Well, I have good news for you. Introducing Positive Corner with Naka every Tuesday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Highlighting young, vibrant, and future stars spreading our nation's banner across the world. Telling their story about their journey to success and overcoming the negativities that plagues our land. Come, let's sit, discuss, have a few laughs, but at the same time learn something new. Every Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Positive Corner, where challenges are opportunities for growth.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
As we transition into summer, we continue to talk politics, current events, entertainment, and what's trending, while balancing the talk with some of your favorite tunes, both old and new. Our purpose is to keep you informed and edify you, as well as to give you food for thought on the current affairs of this nation and the world. Keep it locked to the Street 919 FM every day, all day. Our on-air numbers are 342-0081 and 466-5391. Visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Street 919 FM. YouTube, IWER TV.
The Street 919 FM.
Share the life. You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Renting a car in Tobago should be quick, affordable, and easy.
Wow.
Here at Onia Rentals, we make the process as simple as possible by using our easy e-sign-up. Yep, we can sign you up from just about anywhere using our tablets. See? All done. And everything goes straight into the cloud.
Wow.
Yeah, you're on your way. Are you coming to Tobago? Book your car rental with us and enjoy the most affordable rates in Tobago. But hurry, because cars go pretty fast. Call 361-1042. That's 361-1042. One more time, 361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals, Tobago. Taking you further.
It's here. The Tobago Performing Arts Company, TPAC, presents Force Festival, the premier festival for creatives. Saturday, June 1st, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Shore Park Complex, Tobago. A cultural experience like no other. Entertainment, workshops, networking, exhibitions, and more. And don't you miss the grand concert finale. Tickets on sale at Island E-Tickets. Dance, drama, film, music. Force Festival. Be there.
If you want greater respect from your bankers, bosses, those in authority, then words matter. If you want more productive business relationships with co-workers, customers, or clients, then join Dr. Madonna on the street, 919 FM, every Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon for Words Matter. Communication for joyful workplaces. Dr. Madonna will help you unlock the secret power of words for your financial, relationship, and physical well-being. Whether you work at home, on the road, or in an organization, join Dr. Madonna every Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon for Words Matter. Communication for joyful workplaces.
Yo, this is the Big Mike, not the mass man, the health man. And joining me
will be Little Mike as we discuss tips on taking you from zero health to optimum health using different protocols and techniques. Trinidad and Tobago. Join us every Wednesday from 10:05 a.m. to 10:35 a.m.